Hey, welcome back everyone to episode 98 of the GrowCast show. We are only 2 episodes away from our centenary episode, and for this episode, we have Ricia, a sleep and parenting coach with us. Ricia, how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for welcoming me.
Okay, Ricia, why do you recommend parents to sleep coach their baby?
So the fact is they don't need to if it's whatever they're doing is working for them. Yeah, but sleep coaching provides a structure for them, for both babies and parents, in case sleep kind of goes derail.
At what age can parents sleep coach their baby?
The optimal age would be 3 to 6 months of age, but nobody is stopping any parents to start, say, from day one, from the day they discharge from the hospital.
Does sleep coaching mean cried out, or is there a better way?
No, actually, cried out, it's a very common way, I would suppose. But sleep coaching actually involves a holistic approach where both babies and parents' needs, expectations and goals are being considered in, and then a solution is curated for them. But I wouldn't lie that it's tears free. There will be some tears involved, but as long as it's supported, it's fine. Because the crying is their only way of communicating.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. At what age do most babies get sleep coached successfully?
It's back to that same optimal range. So it will be around 4 to 6 months of age where things do not start to fall into place as habits. Usually, babies need some form of support for sleep, or if they can self-soothe, can self-settle to sleep, that's great. But if they need some form of support like rocking, or even pacifier, dummy, it might become a habit after 6 months.
Why is my unicorn baby suddenly not sleeping well?
Yeah, so unicorn baby is a term that we give to babies who sleep really well since probably day one, even when without jaundice. Yeah, they can sleep through the night with parents telling us, oh, my baby's sleeping 12 to 18 hours, But then you'll realize that, baby sleep also develop as they grow. So probably you will start to see some form of changes around 8 weeks of age. And if we do not try to support them, it might derail even further at around 3 to 5 months of age, where the so-called sleep regression occurs. Yeah.
What am I doing wrong with naps? What is ideal?
Okay, so like I mentioned, around 8 weeks of age, babies might start to take shorter naps, or so what we call cat naps. Yeah. It's actually developmentally normal. If I were to say anything that parents do wrongly, actually not really. It's more like what else can we do to help them to connect their naps. The ideal for naps is very different for a different baby. Some babies can sleep under the sun. Some need like total darkness. Yeah, so it takes a little bit of try and error before we hit the jackpot for different babies, and then that's where we can land on a so-called routine for individual babies.
Why is my baby not sleeping 18 hours a day like other babies?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you have friends who can power through the day with just 4 hours of sleep. Like they look like they had 12 hours of sleep, right? While maybe some other friends already take 10 hours of sleep, but they still look like they need sleep. Yeah. So everybody has different sleep needs, and some babies really have high sleep needs. So the ideal for babies are really based on the individuals, and what we want to do is to work on individual babies' ideal. Yeah, so we do not want to compare with other babies.
I see. How do I put my baby down in the cot without waking?
Okay, so probably the first thought that comes to parents' mind will be, oh no, the cot has needles. Once I put down my baby, and the eyes will start opening. Yes, it's actually very normal, because babies sleep best when they are closer to us, especially the mummies, because of the heartbeat, the warmth, the cuddliness, So what I would suggest would be first to check whether the cot is too cold to touch, and if it is, you can probably put something warm over it first, so that it warms up the mattress, and then always lay the baby legs first into the cot, as close as you can to the baby, so that they can hear your heart beat and feel your warmth. Once you lay the baby down, you can probably rock a little bit or give it a pet. And if you want to so-called top it up, you can have some form of shushing and then see if the baby resettles into the cot.
What is the R.E.S.T, R-E.S.T framework?
Okay, R is for red flags, like any issues that we need to be aware of in terms of feeding, the health, any breathing problems, etc. That's red flags. E is expectations. I think it's self-explanatory. It's the expectations of parents, or even for toddlers, if we are talking about toddlers. S is for specific goals. So every parents have different goals. You may be, I want to get my baby to sleep through 12 hours within a week. Some will be, I'm actually okay to just pet, yeah. So these are specific goals that parents might have. And T is for tiny wins. Tiny wins are the so-called low-hanging fruits that we can immediately execute and see some improvements.
Will development be delayed if my baby does not sleep as well?
Okay, so I think it's a very, very common problem, especially for first-time parents, to see that, oh, my baby is not sleeping well. Oh no, will he become like stupid? Okay, so during sleep, there will be cognitive and physical developments, just like any one of us. And just like adults, actually most of the time where we process some form of information is actually best processed when we are sleeping. Yeah, so there is some form of growth, definitely, but I wouldn't say it will affect, the development. Yeah, because some babies really do just sleep like 9 hours over one whole day, but they end up being some scholars here and there, Yeah.
Why is my kid not listening when I tell him to stop doing something?
Oh, okay. So what if I tell you stop thinking of a blue elephant?
I will think of a blue elephant.
Yeah, precisely. So if we tell them to stop doing something, they do not know how to process that. But instead, it will be better if you can give them a direct answer, or like you can do this, but you can't do that. Stop climbing on the table. They probably will still climb. You can climb at the gym instead. Tables are not for climbing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a good way to try to shift the attention and focus, right?
Yeah, it's really what's next for them. Yeah, rather than telling them to stop doing something.
What is positive parenting and does it really work?
Positive parenting, it's a holistic approach where we respect children, give them the space to explore and come up with a solution together with the parents, instead of I'm sorry, but the traditional way of no, you listen to me, tell you to go left, you cannot go right, Yeah.
Is it okay to feel frustrated or burnt out from parenting?
Oh, definitely. Right. I guess parents out there, they definitely know that parenting is tougher than a PhD. Yeah, especially if you have multiple parents who have toddlers now. You do know that they go through big feelings and they are not developmentally ready to process these big feelings. So definitely there will be burnouts. And I'm not saying that as parent, or even myself as a parenting coach, I do it perfectly because we're all humans. We have emotions, yeah. But it's a win that you know that you're frustrated, so that we know that we are feeling something negative, and that's when we can try to manage it together.
Should I say goodbye when sending my child to school?
Definitely, you should say goodbye or even have a small goodbye ritual. I call it goodbye ritual because that's what I do with my kid as well. Like going through or walking through these classes and then telling her what she can expect. Oh, you're going into school. Your teacher is here. Your friends are here. What are you going to do? What time will I pick you up? And then finally, at the checked-in, that's when you say goodbye, can give a hug, give a kiss. It's definitely way better than what our parents used to do. They sneak away without saying goodbye. This actually strengthens that feelings of loneliness or even some form of fear, like separation anxiety, because they do not know when we will suddenly disappear like this.
Why is my child's crying a trigger for me?
Okay, the very first question that I would ask would be, are you feeling helpless when your child is crying? Is it really a trigger, or are you triggered by your own emotions or own thoughts. Yeah, because many parents might think that they are triggered by the crying itself, but actually it has nothing to do with the child. It's really about the parent who is feeling helpless, not knowing how can I help my child when he or she is crying, especially babies when they can't talk.
What is the fastest way to get my kid to stop crying?
Probably the first thing that comes to parents might be to tell them stop crying, and then that's back to that question of how do I get them to stop? And telling them to stop it won't work for sure. Yeah, so you will be surprised that the fastest way to get them to stop crying is actually to let them cry. You give them the space to cry. Yeah, instead of doing anything, but let them know that you're there for them and you're ready to support them once they're done crying, or once they so-called calm down.
How do I stop my kid from having tantrums and meltdown?
I'm sorry to say, tantrums are developmentally normal. Kids without tantrums, I think that is a worry. I would say a problem, but that's when I will be worried. Yeah, because tantrums are normal and that's how they express and communicate their emotions to us. So let's not stop them, but instead, how do we support them through tantrums? And if you're talking about minimizing tantrums, that's when co-regulation comes in.
Why is my kid always seeking attention?
Then there's a question that I need to ask the parents instead. Have you been giving enough attention to your kid? Because child or children seeking attention, they're actually expressing an unmet need. I think it will be worthwhile to reflect through whether do I really give my child undivided attention. Yeah, it has to be like device free, and actually it's very normal that parents are very distracted because we work. Then like work from home, there's no such thing as work-life balance per se. Yeah. So but it's actually very easy. All you need is 15 minutes a day of undivided attention, and you probably start to see some form of improvement.
What is the R.O.O.T framework?
The R.O.O.T framework actually helps to send parent to ground. Okay, no, just kidding. Not that kind of send to ground. It's more of bringing the parents back to ground, reflect on their emotions, their kids' emotions, and how both parties have been managing it, or what kind of reactions have they had, and eventually we can land on a solution to help both parents and kids have a stronger bond together. R is for regulate, and that's when co-regulation comes in. How do we regulate our emotions together with our kids? Or even when we are the one triggered, how do we regulate our own emotions ourselves? Yeah, and the first O is an offer. That's when we see what kind of responses do we have when there are difficult times. The second O is observe. And that's when I want parents to see whether do they observe what their kids are trying to tell them when they have difficult times. And last but not least would be teach. And that's when we learn to connect with our kids and reconnect when there are difficult times.
What is the best way to discipline a toddler?
I think the very first traditional way that we think of will be punishment. Yeah, and times have changed. I wouldn't say punishment don't work, just that it may not be the most efficient or effective one. What I would like to suggest would be positive discipline, and that takes some form of respect. Respect our kid that they are individuals, and to give them the space to express their emotions in any way at all, because toddlers, some don't really know how to talk yet, and that's when crying or they smash things all around. That's their way of communicating, and then we will come back to so-called ground when the kids have calmed down and see how else can we communicate our emotions to one another.
That's good. Well, that's all we have for you, Ricia. I think it's a very good eye-opener for parents especially, and especially for myself with 3 kids. To be honest, I learned quite a lot during this interview. So that's all we have for episode 98 in the GrowCast show. Thank you once again, Ricia, for being here with us. We'll see you at episode 99.